Right, let me set the scene, campers. A few days ago, I was tip-tapping on Apple Music, and I saw that The Offspring, I can't believe they're still going, but apparently they're bringing out a new album. And one of the songs, one of the singles, I don't know, it was one song I listened to, was called Come to Brazil, which is basically The Offspring saying, Brazilians really wanted to come to Brazil, and it doesn't matter how many times you come to Brazil, we really want to come to Brazil. And therefore, I took that information over to Plek. It's the best place to be. This is also the unofficial water bottle of Plek, the Oala. It's great. Not as great as winding up the representative Brazilian within Plek. To which I said, hey look, this is The Offspring talking about Brazil. And it clicked something in my mind. And that is, I love the Brazilians. You have the Americans watch me, the Brits watch me, and then underneath, it's always torn between India and Brazil. And the Brazilians, I have to say, if you talk about Brazil, there's no one quite like the Brazilians. The Brazilians will come full force to tell you that they are Brazilian and that they love Brazil. And remember, campers, I'm the person who did not like Dom Casmurro, and I didn't mind Macunaíma, like two heavyweights in Brazilian classic literature. So I have felt the full brunt of Brazilians telling me, one, how wrong I am, but most importantly, that they are Brazilian and Brazil is amazing. And you know what? I've been in a bit of a productivity slump. If you want to know what I have been doing, it's this. It's Darkest Dungeon. It's completely taken over my life. I don't really know what to do. Everyone who I put my heart, sweat, and soul into dies. Like, everyone just dies. Go on. Just stab him.
That is even more horrible than
Yes. What the fuck am I meant to do? What the fuck am I meant to do? What do I do? What did it? Oh, what did you? I really need to stop playing these types of games. I've also got into Balatro. You can blame Roro completely for that. Come on. Come on. Can we do it in one? Can we do it in one? I'll take it. That's really the reason I've not been reading, and I've not been editing, of which there is a backlog of videos that I just need to get to. But we digress. On Plek, I tell the Brazilian, hey, Brazil, hey? And he's like, Brazil's amazing. And I thought, you know what? I've not been completely enamored by Brazilian writing. And we're not going to talk about phenotypes. I refuse to talk about that book. But it is a truth universally acknowledged that Brazil has a lot of people, yet still only Paulo Coelho is the only Brazilian author. And I thought I would then read as much Brazilian literature as I possibly can within September, because that's the month the Brazilian independence happened. And so today, I drove to Cardiff and I bought a lot of Brazilian books. People in Plek have given their opinions on that, but I agree, unhinged, but completely on brand. So with my hard-earned money, here are some Brazilian books. Let's start off, and again, if you're here, I don't know anything about these books. I'm not going to be reading blurbs to you, because we don't care. We're going to read them and we're going to talk about them fully, because that's what we do here. We're going to talk about, as I've said, the only Brazilian author. That's Paulo Coelho. I do own, before we talk about these two, of which I don't know anything about, I do own The Alchemist. I just have no idea where I have put it, which is kind of the metaphor of The Alchemist. And maybe I'll find it, and maybe there'll be a new lease of life, but I will be doing The Alchemist, of which I have read. But I also bought Paulo Coelho's Adultery and 11 Minutes. Side note, slight conspiracy. Coelho, I believe, means rabbit. And Paulo is like Paul, like the English equivalent. Now, Paul is related etymologically to Peter. And that means Peter Rabbit, canonically, is Brazilian. Take that, Enid Blyton. No, it's Beatrix Potter. Take that, Beatrix Potter. I have started reading this one because it's a nice size. That's it. Adultery. It's about, would you believe it, adultery. And then there's 11 minutes. What is it about? No, I said I wouldn't do this, but this came from, but it did come from India. Well, I think that RS is rupee. Anyway, but you've also probably noticed this sticker that says £4.50. So, yes, I did go to Waterstones, and they only had, would you believe it, Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. There was nothing else they could offer. I asked Cardiff Waterstones, and they went, have you heard of Paulo Coelho? And I was like, I'm pretty sure he is the only Brazilian author of note. So I did have to go to Troutmark's in Cardiff, like a second-hand bookstore, and of which I think we've done pretty good. I think we've done pretty good here. I have picked up 2 Clarice Lispector, I don't know. Aquavida. Isn't this similar to, like, The Waves? It's meant to, like, kind of capture, like, the present moment. So I don't know if it's, like, as experimental as The Waves, but I know a lot of people talk about this and The Hour of the Star, I think it's called. But they didn't have that because it's a second-hand bookstore, so you kind of get what you get, don't you? And I picked up Near to the Wild Heart, which I know nothing about. Gonna break the rules, people. Oh, okay. It was a debut. That's all I need to know. I'm not reading the rest. We're looking forward to read those. This is Rabbit and Bear. This lake is fake. This isn't Brazilian. It's my daughter's friend's birthday, and we bought her a book. This also isn't Brazilian, darn it. But this is Pier Paolo Pasolini's The Street Kids, which, again, in the second-hand bookstore. This was like the 20th century's version of the Neapolitan novels. But we're not here to talk about Italy. We're here to talk about Brazil. So I also picked up Ana Paula Mayas of Cattle and Men. If this is Argentinian, I'm going to kill myself. No, it's Brazilian. Yes! I did actually pick up and nearly bought an Argentinian writer, which would have really upset the Brazilians. But you know what? When you don't know many Brazilian authors, because there's only Paulo Coelho, you have to kind of go on like roughly what the last name looks like. Does that look vaguely like South American-y? Someone who doesn't know much about South America, it's a bit of a minefield, but I will say the resident Brazilian did give me this entire list of people to find, again, of which Waterstones, they had no clue about any of them. But we digress. Of Cattle and Men, I assume this is a bit like of Mice and Men, but make it spicy, like feijoada. Bam! Isn't feijoada pork? I remember someone in Plec made feijoada, and they bought, what's the flour that you put on top of it? Is it like cassava flour? And accidentally bought, even though they were going to make this once, they accidentally bought a kilo of it. We go hard in Plec. But of the list I just showed you, again, I don't know what I don't think he knew what the English was, but Amado, I found Amado. This is clove and cinnamon, which is really big. It looks like the person who bought this did not even attempt to open it. I do like this, like, semi-decklin. It's like a half-baked deckle. Very satisfying. I have no idea what this is about. I hope it's just a cookbook. But there's that. Oh wait, sorry, 11 minutes. We forgot about that. And then lastly, I actually was gifted this 2 years ago. Ashes of the Amazon by Milton Hatun. Natty, who I did have the pleasure of meeting in Hay, she's Brazilian, would you believe it? And she actually did send me Dom Casmurro, and this, of which I've never got around to. So I think once I finished Adultery, I'm going to read Ashes of the Amazon. And my hope is to read all of these and review them before the end of September. You know, I've also realised that this also has this kind of, like this half-baked decklin. Very satisfying. But, you know what would be more satisfying? First of all, if you're Brazilian, you're going to let me know. I don't even have to do a call for that. You're going to tell me that you're Brazilian. I know you are. You're going to tell me that Brazilian literature is great. Again, of which I've not been, like, completely impressed. And maybe that's why we don't have them, because they're not that good. Ooh! Ho, 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 ho! Crack, caramba! Someone in the comments is probably going to go, put, or no sir, I don't speak Brazilian. But nevertheless, let me know what Brazilian authors and Brazilian books that I should read. I know people mention like the posthumous something, what's his name, Brass Cubas? this book. I can't remember off the top of my head. People say like, you should read that. This is by Dom Casmurro. It's by the same guy. It's by Diacis, isn't it? I didn't like Dom Casmurro. Is this that good? I know all the Brazilians are like, this is the book. Maybe that will be the book that changes everything for me, in my opinion, on Brazilian literature. But yeah, we're going hard. We ain't backing down because we always like a challenge here.